Today, we're going to discuss the equation of a circle. An equation of the circle with a center hk and radius r is written as the square of x minus h plus the square of y minus k is equal to r squared. So this is called the standard form of the equation of the circle if the center of the circle is the origin, which is 0, 0, then the equation is x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. This is a circle with the center hk and the radius now is from the point C to P. That's a radius, and point P is one of the endpoints on the circle, which is now the xy. Graph each equation. Letter A, we have x squared plus y squared equals 25. So if this is the equation class, then the center of the circle is at the point of origin. So I can write center whose point is the point of origin, and 25 means that is for r squared. Then we have 25, solve for r, take the square root of that, so square root of 25, so r is equal to 5. So it could be plus or minus 5. Later on, we're gonna graph that one. So for letter B, we have the square of x minus 2 plus the square of y plus 1 equals 25. So comparing it to the original formula, we have so this is the formula. So comparing the given to our formula, we could say that the value of h is equal to 2, then the value of k is equal to the negative 1. Okay, it's negative 1, so that y minus of negative 1, it becomes positive 1. And the value of r squared is equal to 25, so r is equal to plus and minus 5. Now, since we are asked to graph each equation, so we're going to use this data like the point of, this is now the center, which is the point of origin, and the value of the radius. So the same as well on letter B. So to graph that one, so this is now the graph of letter A. So since the center is the point of origin and the radius is 5, so this will be 5 going to the right, 5 going up. You count 5 also going to the left, as well as going count 5 going down. So if you connect all the lines or the points, then it becomes a circle. Equation of the circle now gives us x squared plus y squared equals 25. Now for letter B, wherein the given equation is the square of x minus 2 plus the square of y plus 1 equals 25. So as we have shown earlier, that the center is 2, negative 1. So this is the center, 2, negative 1. And the radius is 5. So from the center, you count 5 steps to the right, 5 steps to the going up, and 5 steps to the left, and also 5 steps going down. And then connect all the points, then it becomes now the graph of the circle. Next, we're going to find an equation of a circle. So find an equation of the circle with a radius of 3 and the center of 2, negative 5. So this is now number 1, and this is for number 2. So for number 1, using the equation, we have the square of x minus h plus the square of y minus k is equal to r squared. So this is now the value of h, and this is now the value of k. So, and of course, this is the radius. So by substitution, we can write now x minus, we have minus 2 squared plus y minus negative 5 is the value of k, and then squared is equal to 3 squared. So simplifying this part, we have the square of x minus 2 plus we have the square of y plus 5 is equal to 9. So this is now the standard form of the equation of a circle. Now, if we are going to expand the left-hand side, which is now the square of x minus 2, as well as the square of y plus 5, it will give us now the general equation of a circle. So, we have using the square binomial, so we can write now the square of x minus 2 is equivalent to x squared minus 4x plus 4 plus the square of y plus 5 will give us y squared plus 10y plus 25 is equal to 9. So, rewriting this again, this can be written as x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 10y plus 4 plus 25 is 29, and transpose 9 to the left hand side, we have minus 9 is equal to 0. So we can write now x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 10y plus 20 is equal to 0. So this kind of equation is what we called as the general equation of a circle, while the first one is the standard form of the equation of a circle. Okay, for number 2, we are asked to find an equation of the circle that has the points P and Q as the endpoints of the diameter. So, analyzing this problem, since we have PQ as the diameter, then we can solve the center by using the midpoint of the diameter PQ. So, I will solve it here. So, using now the midpoint formula, we have the midpoint of PQ, which is equal to x sub 1 plus x sub 2 over 2 and y sub 1 plus y sub 2 over 2. So I will write first also the given. The point P is 1, 8, and the value of the coordinates of Q is 5, negative 6. This is now the diameter. And as I have said earlier, that we can find the center of this diameter by using the midpoint formula. So by substitution now, we have x sub 1 is 1 plus x sub 2 is 5 over 2 and y sub 1 is 8 and y sub 2 is negative 6. So over 2. So simplifying this, we have 6 over 2 is equal to 3. 8 minus 6 is 2 divided by 2 is 1. So therefore, the coordinates now of the midpoint of PQ, which is actually the center of the circle. Okay, so I will write here that this is also the center of the circle. Now next is to find the radius in order for us to find the equation of a circle. So to find the radius, we're going to use the coordinates of the center of the circle to any point on the diameter. So if I'll choose point P as my endpoints of the circle, so I'm going to use the distance formula. So using the distance formula, so we have, so the distance now of, I will call this one as P and C, which is now the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1. The square of this is plus the square of y sub 2 minus sub. So the square of the difference of y sub 2 minus y sub 1. So that is now our distance. So using now these points, these coordinates, which is now the center, and I'm using the one of the endpoints of the circle, which is now the point P. So I can let this one now as my x sub 1, y sub 1, and this is my x sub 2, y sub 2. So by substitution, I can write, right, we have 3 minus 1 squared plus 1 minus 8 squared. So simplifying this one, so we can have 3 minus 1 is 2, 2 squared is 4, plus 1 minus 8 is negative 7. The square of negative 7 is 49. So therefore, we can write now the square root of 49 plus 4 is 53. So we have the distance now of equivalent to the square root of 53, and that distance from P to the center is what we called as the radius. So this value is also the radius of a circle. Okay, it is known as the radius of the circle because we are taking the distance between the center to any point on the circle. That is why that is now the value of the radius. Now we can solve for the equation of a circle given the radius. So the radius now we have equivalent to the square root of 53, and the center which has the coordinates of 3, 1. So using the formula, so we can write here again. So we have plus the square of x minus h plus the square of y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So we have x minus 3, the square, plus y minus 1, the square, is equal to, if I'm going to square this one, so we have r squared is equal to 53. So I can write here 53. Okay, so this equation now is the standard form of a circle. Then if you want to come up with the general equation of a circle, then you just simplify the square binomial as well as this, and then combining like terms and rearranging that one into the general form of a circle. Okay, so in graph, so this is now the resulting graph of our problem, wherein the center that we have solved is 3, 1, and these are now, and point P and point Q are part of the given. Thus, the radius now is equivalent to the square root of 53. Okay, next we're going to identify an equation of a circle. So the problem says that show that the equation of x squared plus y squared plus 2x minus 6y plus 7 is equal to 0 represents a circle, and find the center and radius of the circle. So in this given class, so the given is in terms of the general equation of a circle. So from the general equation of a circle, we are going to arrive into a standard form of the equation of a circle. So to do that, let us group together the like terms. So we have x squared plus 2x grouped together plus y squared minus 6y grouped together, and then we transpose the constant term, which is now negative 7. So after that, you are going to find the number to be added on this part and on this part. So what is now the number to be added in this part? So the value of b is 2, always divide by 2, and then you square. So the number to be added will be 1, because 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 1 squared equals 1. On the other side, in terms of y, the value of b, according to the formula, our formula for finding the number to be added. So in our previous lesson, so we have the value of b here is negative 6, always divide by 2, and the quotient will be raised to the power of 2. So simplifying this one, negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3, and the square of negative 3 is 9. So the numbers to be added now are 1 and 9. So let's make this one now a perfect square trinomial. So we have x squared plus 2x plus 1 plus y squared minus 6y plus 9 is equal to negative 7, and the number that we have added are 1 and 9. So after that, we are going to factor this again in terms of the square of binomial. So the factor of this will give us the square of x plus 1 plus the factor of this will give us the square of y minus 3 is equal to negative 7 plus 1 plus 9 will give us 3 because 10 minus 7 is 3. So this is now the equation of a circle, and since we are asked to find the center and the radius, so we can analyze it coming from here. So therefore the center now will have, so whose coordinates of the center, we have the negative 1 and 3. And the radius now, r squared equals 3. So therefore, r is equivalent to the square root of 3. So our answers are this. We have the center, and the value of the radius is the square root of 3. Because according to the formula, this is equivalent to r squared. That's why I write here r squared equals 3. And take the roots to find the value of r. So I have here the general equation of a circle. So the equation x squared plus y squared plus dx plus ey plus f is equal to 0, where d equals negative 2a, e equals negative 2b, and f equals a squared plus b squared minus r squared is called the general equation of a circle. So in this formula class, we are using here the coordinates of the center. I will write here. Okay, we are using here, note that we are using the coordinates of the center as A, B, okay, not HK, okay? So take note, the center, okay, the coordinates of the center in this kind of equation is I'm using A and B. Okay, so the general equation of a circle gives the following properties. So D is equivalent to negative 2A. If we want to solve for A, so divide both sides by negative 2. Therefore, A equals negative D over 2. And the value of E equals negative 2B. So dividing both sides again by negative 2, therefore B is equal to negative E over 2. So the center now, the one that I'm telling a while ago, so the center which has the coordinates of AB can also be written as the negative D over 2 minus E over 2, which can be seen on the coefficients based on the general equation of a circle. And the second property, we have f is equal to a squared plus b squared minus r squared. Then if we're going to solve for r, transpose first r on the left hand side, then it becomes now r squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus f. And in solving for r, so it gives us the equation of the square root of a squared plus b squared minus f. And then, following the property number 1, replace the meaning of a, b, and f. So therefore, a means negative d over 2. When you square that one, it becomes d squared over 4. And b can be replaced by negative e over 2. Square of negative e over 2 will have positive e squared over 4. So f will remain as f. And then we can now have the formula for finding the value of r, which is now equivalent to 1/2 of the square root of d squared plus e squared minus 4f after simplifying this side. So the circle x squared plus y squared plus 4x plus the quantity of 1 minus k of y plus k minus 3 equals 0 pass through the origin. So find its radius. Okay. So to find the radius, since it passes through the point of origin, we know that the ordered pair for the point of origin now, we have the value of 0 and 0. So therefore, this is for the value of x is 0 and the value of y is equal to 0. So by substitution, we can write now 0 squared plus 0 squared plus 4 times 0 plus 1 minus k times 0 plus k minus 3 is equal to 0. Actually, after substitution, we are solving for the value of k. So that is now 0. 4 times 0 is 0. So I will just cancel this one. And then this is also 0, right? And therefore, we have now k minus 3 is equal to 0. Therefore, the value of k is equal to 3. So after knowing the value of k, we are going to substitute the value of k in the original given. So we can write now x squared plus y squared plus 4x plus 1 minus, I will write 1 minus the value of k that we have solved earlier, which is now 3 of y plus 3 minus 3 is equal to 0. So 3 minus 3 is 0. So we can now rewrite the given as x squared plus y squared plus 4x. 1 minus 3 is negative, so negative 2y is equal to 0. Now from there, we can now find the value of the radius. So using the formula that we have solved earlier, we have r is equal to 1 half of the square root of d squared plus e squared minus 4f. Am I correct? So let us try to see the formula. Okay, that's correct. We have r equals 1 half of the square root of d squared plus e squared minus 4f. So by substitution, we have 1 half times the square root of d. So where can we find d in our formula? We have going back again to this. So we're going to use this one, x squared plus y squared plus d of x plus ey plus f is equal to 0. So your d is the coefficient of x, your e is equivalent to the coefficient of y. So we have so dx, so therefore the value of d is 4. So we can write now we have 4 squared plus e is the coefficient of y, which is now negative 2. So I can write now as we have the square of negative 2 minus 4 times the value of f. But what is the value of f? According to our formula, this is now the constant. Okay, but what is the constant on the given? So there is no constant here on the left hand side, therefore it becomes 0. So the continuation will be here. So I have r is equal to 1 half times the square root of 4 squared. I will write first 4 squared plus the square of negative 2 minus 4 times the value of f is 0 because there is no constant term here in this side of the equation. So that's now 0. And then we can now simplify the radicand. We have the square root of 4 squared is 16 plus the square of negative 2 is 4 minus 4 times 0 is 0. So therefore, we can have 16 plus 4, and that is now 1 half the square root of 20. And square root of 20 is 2 square root of 5. So we have 1 half times simplification of square root of 20 is 2 square root of 5. So multiply by 1 half. So we can cancel 2, this one and that one. So therefore, we have the radius now is equivalent to the square root of 5, wherein that is what we are looking for. So the value of the radius now is equivalent to the square root of 5. Let's talk about the discriminant of a circle. So given the equation of x squared plus y squared plus dx plus ey plus f equals 0, the expression of d squared plus e squared minus 4f is called the discriminant of the circle. Now, what does it tell us? So, number one, so what's the meaning of this discriminant? Okay, so when d squared plus e squared minus 4f is less than 0 and the value of the radius is not an element of a real number and the equation does not represent a circle. For number two, when the discriminant and the value of the radius is equal to 0, then the equation represents only a point. So it can be represented by the center of negative d over 2, comma, and negative e over 2. And number 3, when the discriminant is greater than 0, and the value of r is an element of any real number, therefore, the equation represents a circle with center at C. We have negative d over 2, comma, negative e over 2, and the radius of r is equal to 1 half times the square root of d squared plus e squared minus 4f. So for our next example, we will be using these properties of the discriminant of a circle. Find the possible values of p such that x squared plus y squared minus 6x minus 4y plus p equals 0 represents a circle. Okay, so to represent a circle, then the discriminant must be positive. Let us take a look on this. To represent a circle, so we are using now the property number 3. So it is stated that this property represents a circle. So to represent a circle, the discriminant must be positive because the discriminant must be greater than 0. That's why we are after of the discriminant must be positive or greater than 0. Now solving for that, okay, so we have now, you have d squared plus e squared minus 4f must be greater than 0 to represent a circle. Now let us try to substitute. The value of d is negative 6. This is now the value of d, and the value of e must be negative 4y. It's the value of e, and the value of f must be this one. So f now must be equal to p. So by substitution, our d is negative 6 to the square of negative 6 plus the value of e is negative 4, the square, minus 4 times the value of f, which is now equivalent to p. So 4 times p, or you can use that one, is greater than 0. So solving for this, we have the square of negative 6 is 36 plus the square of negative 4 is 16 minus 4p is greater than 0. So 36 plus 16 is 52 minus 4p is greater than 0. So transpose, we can write now negative 4p is greater than negative 52 and divide by negative 4 to solve for p. So we have negative 4p divided by negative 4 is 4. And since we are dividing by negative number, so the symbol of inequality will be reversed. So this must be p is less than. So negative 52 divided by negative 4 is positive 13. So p must be less than 13. So that is now the possible values of p. It should be p must be less than 13.